Hey, well, thanks for coming back to the channel. And this is another installment on what happens if there's a Carrington 1859 uh, coronal mass ejection from our sun and what happens. So this one is you now have a 12-hour warning. You have a 12-hour warning. What do you do? What do you do now? You have 12 hours before shit's going to hit the fan globally. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to get your ass home. You go home. You go home. You do not shelter in place because there's nothing to shelter from at this point because the event hasn't happened yet. So you have 12-hour block of time to get home. Now, what does that mean? Well, depends on where you are. You know, if you live at your home, you like me, I'm already at home or I'm down the street or whatever. But keep in mind, there will be no commercial transportation available. None for anyone. Any aircraft that are already in the air are going to be doing a 9/11 find an airport and land thing. That's what they're going to be doing. Because if they don't, 12 hours later, there's going to be about 2 million people dead because the airplanes won't be able to fly and they'll crash and everybody will die. Okay. Trains, the switches that control the trains, the electricity, the circuits that are on the trains, maybe they can hit the emergency brakes, but you don't know where those trains are going to stop, right? Right? Whether it's Amtrak or whether it's freight. Certainly, you're not going to get on one and go anywhere. So no commercial ground transportation. Let's talk about ships at sea. All ships at sea will be at the mercy of the sea. Their navigation will be down. Their ability to move will be down. They won't be able to maneuver the ship in the case of heavy seas. Some will sink, some will break up, some will be lucky and just be floating islands. Whether it's a cruise ship or a container ship, it doesn't matter. So that includes all the supply chain. Trucks, commercial trucks, buses, all of that. The over-the-road drivers are going to be trying to get home, right? If I'm one of them, I'm going to jack the trailer, and my tractor and I are going to get home, okay? You have to get home. So what does that mean? Well, I've done some math. I used to have hair before I started doing the math. Oh, this stuff is so much fun. Anyway, look. There's no commercial transportation, right? So what about the next one? Okay, you are in a car. If you are greater than 350 miles, you're screwed because you're not going to be able to, in 12 hours, get home. Why 350 miles? Because I hear you. I got enough gas in my... It doesn't matter. Because you're going to be dealing with other obstacles, other traffic, other people on the road. So instead of having that 60 mile an hour average that tends to happen, 70 maybe you'll be at 30, right? Hence, 350 miles away in a vehicle. So take a look at where you live and draw a circle around that. And you have to be inside that circle if you're going to make it home in a car. Now, what about my family? What about, if your family, remember the priorities of life, you, then your family and loved ones, then the innocent. There is nobody else in this case. So you have to take care of yourself first. If you can pick up someone on your way home, then it's okay. But it better only be your family. Don't pick up any friends. Don't worry about some woman holding a baby. Help, I got to go to help. No, keep on driving because you have been violating the priority of life, which is your life, your family and loved ones. Now, you should already be training your family members what to do. when they get the 12-hour warning. So hopefully you and your family are having that discussion. I don't have any family with which to have that discussion where I am. So it's just me, myself, and I, right? So 350 miles, right? And in that journey, hopefully you have a firearm or two with enough ammo in your car, because somebody's going to try to jack you, because they're going to try to get home too, right? So I don't care what state you. If I was in California or New York, right, I'd always have a firearm in my car. I don't care what the law says. And I have an advantage because the older I get, the worse I care about life in prison, and I don't care about that stuff anymore, right? Just saying, that's me, right? The next option, you don't have a car, bicycle. I'm not talking about e-bike. I'm talking about bicycle you have to pedal. If you have to be less than 50 miles away from home, because that gives you about 6 hours, it's ish at 10 miles an hour ish. But keep in mind that 50 miles is a half marathon bike ride, right? Now I can do 50 miles, but I'll tell you, when I'm done, I'm whipped, but I can do it. Can you? Can you do it without just dying on the ride? So you need, draw a circle around where you are. And one, do you even have a bicycle? If not, go get one. They're not expensive. Just go get one. Get a 10-speed, 14-speed, whatever they make. Get a small trailer and put it on the back. You can get those for like $100 on Amazon, and they'll carry 100 pounds. So think about that. 50 miles. Where is 50 miles? Now, where I live, I'm about 50 miles from an Air Force base. But keep in mind, you could live next door to a Marine base. It doesn't matter. It's just another city. And all their shelves are going to be empty in 3 days as well. Right? So you might feel safe going there, but unless you have preps in your house greater than what might be available there, because remember, they're going to take care of their people first, not you. Not you. So 50 miles. The other thing to consider is, and this is a real deal, man, is your ride uphill or downhill? Is it going to be against the wind or with the wind? And that really matters. It certainly matters here, because our main roads are east and west, right? And I'm telling you, you got a 15, 20 mile headwind on your chest, it's going to kill you off. You ain't going to make the 50 miles. You're not. And if that's a headwind and you're going uphill, even if it's a slight grade, I'll tell you, from where I am to 160 miles away, it doesn't look like it, but you climb 2,000 feet. You climb 2,000 feet. That matters. That matters. So you have to think about that. The same if you get to the next one. And that's, you're on foot. You're going to walk. You got 30 miles. 20 miles. 20 miles on foot, max. And oh, by the way, whether you're biking or whether you're walking, you better have 1 liter of water per hour that you're going to be doing that. And that's 6 liters, right? That's like, 20 some pounds, right? That's just the water. Don't think you're going to stop somewhere and pick up water. That ain't going to happen, because you don't have time. You don't have time. You have to get home. Then when you get home, inside that 12 hours, you have to be preparing your environment. If you have Faraday bags, you need to be putting your stuff in the Faraday bags. You need to make sure that your physical place is secure, that your firearms are where you need them to be, and that your family members, if you have family members or loved ones, are at home safe. Now, if a family member has their own transportation, they're on their own to get home. You do not go out and get anybody once you get home. I don't care what kind of phone calls you get. No, because now there are two people screwed instead of one. I know it sucks, and it doesn't feel like the movies and compassion, all that. That's up to you. That's up to you. That's why you train your family members to expect that if this happens, this is what their responsibility is. It's not you go get them. They come home. And then they have to understand the math. Now, if I was a business owner, and I'm not, one of the things that I can appreciate about the COVID thing is that I would reinstitute work from home. I would reinstitute work from home for a couple of reasons. One, it keeps people at home. The second thing is that once the 12 hours hits, I'm not going to be able to do business anyway. So I want to be home. I want to be home. I want to be home with my family. And I can run a business from my home. If you have one of those kind of jobs or one of those kind of businesses where you physically have to be, if you're a Starbucks barista, the last thing you want to do is stay there. I'm just saying, the customers, screw them. You get yourself home. So you got 12 hours. What do you do now? What do you do now? So that's my installment now. Please put your fun comments down below. Thank y'all very much. My head still hurts. As always, wherever you are, whenever you are, however you are, carry on.